Hi, you're here with Just Maria D. It is indeed Maria D. And today I'm going to be making a Fathead pizza. I found this on the Diet Doctor website. I'll put a link below. The recipe says for some reason 360 mils of shredded mozzarella. On further investigation, I found that this is 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella. So I've put that in a saucepan on my stove. Just an aside, both the soft cheese and the mozzarella that I have used are from Aldi. So these recipes don't have to be expensive. I'm now putting 2 tablespoons of soft cheese into the saucepan with my mozzarella. Well, I'm going to try anyway. A good way of trying to get this out is, as I've done here, with a teaspoon. Remembering that it is really sticky. So yeah, I know that I make it look super duper easy here. Ah dear, it's not going to be hard to keep up with me, really. If I can do this stuff, anybody can do this stuff. Every week that I have done this, I have tried to give it a preliminary mix through with my spoon before it goes on the heat, just in case the properties of soft cheese have changed and it mixes more easily with shredded mozzarella. Every week I am bitterly disappointed. I then put the cheese on a low heat on my stove, keeping it moving all the time because it does start to melt quite quickly, and the last thing we want to do is burn it on to the bottom of our saucepan. 1, because that's not going to make it taste very good, and 2, because it's going to be a bugger to clean off, isn't it? Like, let's face it. Friday night in our house is easy night. Often people have things like pizzas. I know that it is mind-blowing to think that there is this much cheese in a pizza dough and how could it possibly taste very good, but it does. I actually like this better than traditional pizza dough. So go figure. It is really best to have these ingredients measured so that as soon as the cheese is melted, they go straight in. I'm measuring out 100 grams of ground almonds or almond flour, whichever you want to call it, and that is going to go straight into the cheese mixture. I'm then going to add 1 teaspoon of white wine vinegar into the mixture as well. Next, I'm going to whisk 1 egg and toss that in. The recipe says 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have actually used 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt just to add a little bit more flavour to my base. I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on my hands to help the dough not stick to it quite as much. You can actually do this with a mixer. I just prefer to do it by hand. Once that is mixed in, you just kind of shape it into a little round patty cake and slowly roll it out to where you want it to be. You don't have to use a roller, you could just flatten it if you wanted to, but I found that this is how it works best for me. I put it in between baking paper, so again, to stop it sticking quite so much. I like a thin dough, so I have rolled mine quite thin, and my oven has a tendency to burn the baking paper hanging over the edges, so I've cut that off. The oven has been preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius, and it is going to go in there for about 10 minutes until it is golden brown, as you can see here. Now to find a very low carb, low sugar tomato sauce to go on the top, I've used an Aldi passata, and then I've put on all my favorites and thrown it back into the oven again for about 10 minutes or until the cheese is melted. I have been Maria D. This has been a Fathead pizza, and you have been awesome. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.